thanks so much for downloading the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Today, Paula and I talk a little bit about sex, but mostly about our dogs and their rotten teeth, plus some ugly and awkward moments of the week. Please shop lipandclip.com and head over to Amazon and sign up for your Prime membership. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
Oh my God! Have you been eating shrimp?
Paula?
I'm ready to fuck a broomstick.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 413.
I'm so tired.
Wug?
No, I'm like,
I thought you said wug.
I don't know what I said. God.
We are so tired. I mean, when is this going to improve? When will it improve?
This is the worst part about it is like, I haven't actually been back to the hospital since like last Friday, and it's already Friday and I don't even know. Well, I know what happened. I told you what happened is I take medication to treat I'm going to pull a Republican, my mental health issues. All last week, I did the overnight shift with mom. Well, every time before I go to bed regularly, I take medication before I go to bed because it's like nighttime medication and it usually makes me sleepy. Well, since I was doing the overnights with mom, I didn't take it. I would take it in the morning when I got home.
Oh my gosh.
And then I also had morning time medication I would take. So I wouldn't take that usually until I woke up. So I kind of threw my body off. And so all this week, I've just been a blubbering, fiery mess. And I'm just, it's like having PMS
but worse.
But like times 1,000. And so I've just... And of course, I can't stop Facebooking, and I know I look like an idiot. Did anybody email you saying they were concerned?
No, you know what was interesting is, yes, sometimes our mutual friends will reach out to me and say, is your sister okay?
They know I'm emotionally cutting, and they just get worried. And I'm just like, I really hate that. I mean, I don't hate it. I love that they're concerned, but then I hate that I'm humiliating myself. And
no, first of all, it's not a humiliation. I've seen people do far worse, but... First of all, I've been a zombie for a week as well since mom has gotten out of ICU. But Daryl goes, well, and I go, what? He goes, well, your sister's up to it again. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, she's posting a lot of music.
I was playing DJ. He makes it sound like, well, the squirrels are at it again.
Well, because it's obvious that this is going to digress into something else eventually. Like, why is there air? And why am I such an asshole? I don't get it.
Well, did you see what I posted this morning?
Oh.
There was this woman, and she was large.
Oh, I saw that.
And she had blue hair, and she didn't have the nicest looking face. And
she looked like she probably worked in the back room of a Hot Topic.
Maybe, or Torrid, perhaps. And she says, I have a husband, a boyfriend, and 2 lovers? Or what did she say? I don't know. Or
something.
A husband, a fiance, and 2 boyfriends.
Yeah, she's got them lined up.
And I was just like, I've come to realize, I'm like, you either have to be drop dead gorgeous in this world, or you have to be like grotesque to get a man. And so I'm like, I'm going to have to make a choice here. I'm either going to have to get like...
You can't be moderately attractive anymore.
You can't be a tweener. There's just, you don't have a shot. And so I'm just
you either have to be, it's all about the extremes.
So I'm either going to have to get like head to toe plastic surgery, or I'm just going to have to like, eat my way to a boyfriend and, stop wearing makeup and like dye my hair green and like, don't brush my teeth anymore or something.
You know what? It was funny because, we're all, even you, we're pretty vain. We're not exactly interested in letting ourselves go, whatever that means to our family. That's kind of how we are.
When we like go somewhere or there's an event or something, I mean, we
put it together.
We represent,
Sure.
But see, this is the worst part about it though, is like, I feel like when we do put it together, we are attractive, but we're just not attractive enough,
We're not that next level J-Lo look. We're in between.
As we get older, it's just getting worse. It's getting harder.
I don't know. The last couple of weeks have been very stressful for our family. And so when I get home, I look like shit. I don't wear makeup if I don't have to. I was showering every day, but I was kind of letting my hair styling go.
Every time I saw you, you had concealer on at least and like mascara.
I did. That was the bare minimum when I was out in public, but when I got home, I just let it all go. And I normally don't do that. And so for some reason, I mean, when you're under an incredible amount of duress, other things like, you know, I hate to tell you this, but I mean, I had a lot of sex last week because it was just a release from all the stress.
Maybe that's what's wrong with me. I can't, like, I'm ready to fuck a broomstick. I just...
Is Victor looking interesting?
Jamie, I swear. Like, I even looked at him last night and I was giving him the look and I'm just like, I've got an itch and it needs to be scratched.
Like, listen... I'd be like, look, this has nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with your dick. Okay, that's it.
You can put a brown bag on your head for all I care.
Yeah, it's like what I would prefer is that I can cover your face with a pillow and just do what I need to do so I can move on with my life. I have a release that needs to occur.
Right.
I would be okay with it. I approve. Anyway, so what I was saying is when we were having all this sex last week, I did not look very good, and I felt weird about it because I try to look somewhat put together, and like not mascara under my eyes and, you know, ratty and dirty hair and stuff. And so, but we were still doing it. And I said, man, I go, isn't it a weird kink that guys like ugly sex? Because ugly sex is hot.
Really?
Because you literally give zero fucks about what you look like. And you're like, I just want to fuck you. And of course, Daryl's like, how dare you? I would never. And I'm like, well, shall we talk about your past? He's all, shut up. Just shut up. He goes, I had low standards because I didn't know any better. And I'm like, all right, I'm just saying.
No,
you know,
Victor.
I've seen your exes.
Victor has a thing about, like, you know, brush teeth and showers.
Oh,
and
yeah, for sure.
not like constantly.
No,
but
I
mean,
understand.
like, you know, if it's been like a day or two, you know, he's got a thing about it. And so
Well, I mean,
there, and I am not into really morning sex. I
like it.
if we can get up and brush our teeth, but I feel like that breaks the morning, you know. I don't
Right.
know.
I don't. You know what?
Can't
It
do
just
the morning
depends.
sex things. It just depends, I guess. I'm a big kisser, so I just
Yeah. See, depending on what activities occur in the bed, I don't do the kissing thing. It's either before or
really?
not at all. Yeah.
oh god, I can't not kiss. It's just my thing.
I can't like you know, Daryl really likes to, but if there's any kind of oral sex going on, kissing is over. I'm not doing it.
I'm way into it.
But you don't like anybody going down on you, so you don't have to deal with it.
I'm not saying I don't prefer it, but sometimes people just really want to do it. So I'm just like, all right, I'll permit it. And
But will you kiss them after?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I really struggle with it. I always have, though, my whole life. I'm like, I just can't.
It's kind of nasty. So
It's just not my fave. But
guys think it's particularly like,
Yeah.
you know, raunchy. And so
I
they're
know.
like way into it. You know, guys, they like the dirty stuff.
of course they do, but they don't necessarily like ugly girl sex. So
But sometimes, you know, after you are going down on them and you get like, you know, the nose snot, and then I'll give them, you know, a full tongue full of it. And they're just kind of like, get that weird look on their face, kind of like, what's that? I'm like, yeah, I'm all, you like that? Huh? Yeah, neither do I.
do you slap them across the face after you're done?
No.
It's like, you whore. You dirty whore.
Stamp them on the forehead with my vagina.
Okay.
Yeah, you like that too?
So, it's funny.
What do they call that? A mushroom stamp? Well, I guess they would call that a snail stamp.
Paula, that is just so revolting to me. I just can't even.
I know, you're such a lady.
I am such a lady in the bedroom. No, I am not. I'm a whore. Okay. Anyway,
I wish there was like a Richter scale to decide out of the four of us which one was the biggest whore.
who's the biggest slut in the room? I don't even know. But you know what's so funny is when we do talk about stuff like that, Stephanie goes, you guys don't even know. And I'm like, all right, Miss Prude.
Yeah,
You
right.
won't-
She's probably like the least whorish. Some of the things I've told her, her face has gotten red. She put her hand on her chest, and I'm just like, oh, stop.
She won't even wear V-neck shirts. So I don't really know. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
She'll be like, Paula, stop. You're embarrassing me. And I'm like, oh.
She's like,
You
well,
know?
I'm very modest. And I'm like, are you?
She's just like, I'm married. And I'm just like, bullshit. I'm like, who gives a shit? That's like when you really starting to embrace your freak.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like, oh, please, do you not recall that we were all in our 20s at one time? We all know exactly how freaky we are, okay? That does not go away. We just refine our skills.
Or we've just learned to keep it quiet.
Well, we just have, we have society to contend with now. We're not young and dumb anymore.
I told her a story one time about a romp I had, and she said she started to get jealous.
Oh, that's good. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know. You know what's funny is actually, although Daryl doesn't like to think about, obviously, me being with anybody before him, he doesn't mind the stories, though. Because it's not that we don't have a really hot sex life, because we do for being married. But prior to me being married, I was quite free. And so I tell him my stories.
Lived some life.
And he's like, have you ever had a threesome? Have you ever kissed another woman? Like, tell me about it. And I'm like, really? You want to know? He's like, oh, yes. And I'm like, all right. So I'll tell him. And yeah, he doesn't seem to mind. I mean, I'm sure he's putting it in the vault somewhere. You know how guys are, but.
You experience different things with different people. And
yes,
so, and
absolutely.
I'm not even talking about sexually. I'm just talking about, in dating or in life. As the kids get older, and because Victor and I are, by definition single, I'll talk to them about, I'm like, well, one time I dated this guy. And so I'll like talk to them about, just different people I've dated or something like that. Because I'm a pretty open person.
Yeah.
And
I got no secrets, really.
I don't want to say it's innocent, but I mean, I'm just relating stories about dating or life or how people are different. Because I want them to feel comfortable talking about like boys and girls and, crushes and relationships and things like that.
Absolutely. All right. So let's move on. Really quick update on her mom. She is in a very specific spinal institute rehab facility. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. She's discovering all of these things about her body that she didn't realize. She's been in so much pain for so long that her legs don't even know how to work properly. So she's literally learning how to walk properly right now.
Oh,
it's
my
crazy.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're like, your left leg kind of drags sometimes. And she's like, yeah, I've noticed that. She's like, is it a complication from the surgery? She said, no, you've been accommodating all of this pain. So you've been walking incorrectly for so long that your body's like, oh, I don't even know how to do this right. So they're literally teaching her how to walk properly, how to baby her back so that she doesn't harm herself. It's insane how much work she's had to do. And, she's only been there less than a week. And they're so impressed with her progress. And I saw her yesterday and she looked exhausted, of course, because there's no rest. Like, she's like, they literally woke me up at 5:30 so that I could get dressed. Does
she hate it or is she okay with it?
She's okay with most of it. But what she hates, is the mealtime. Because at this facility, they really expect that you will go to the dining common and eat with everybody else.
Why?
Because you have to, initially, Mom couldn't even hold a fork. Like, she was really weak. But now she can feed herself. Everything's fine now. But it's a part of the therapy, is eating, sitting up, and, doing all the things you need to do to have a meal.
Oh, so do they have a physical therapist in the dining room?
Yes, they have nurses.
Oh, that's probably why.
Yeah, and they just to make sure that you're not trying to, cheat your way through a meal by having someone help you with it. They're really big on not letting family members help. Like, it's a big deal because everybody wants to help. When you see someone you love suffering or struggling, you want to go, here, just let me get it for you. But they're like, no, you can't. Everybody's got it. This is like getting back to a normal life. This is not, this is different than the hospital. So I asked her, I said, how's the dining common going? She goes, well, I went once. And I said, once? You've been here for 12 meals. And she's like, and when I got there, the nurse came in. She goes, oh, you ready to go to the dining hall? She goes, would it be all right if I just took my meal in my room today? And she's like, sure, Marva, that's fine. So she went, she goes, I promise I'll go there for dinner. And so she brought her meal to her and I watched her eat. I did not help. I mean, I did cut the grapes, but that was only because she wanted a Waldorf salad. So we're sitting there and I go, so what's up with the dining? She goes, Jamie, I hate it in there so much. And I'm like, why? She goes, it's just there's so many people and they have a lot of very extreme wounds and it's not things I want to see when I'm trying to eat. And I said, I go, well, are they mean? She goes, no, it's just, it's difficult to see these healing people. And I said, like, I mean, stroke people or what are we talking? She goes, well, there's just a lot of surgeries and there's a lot of things. And yeah, it's not very appetizing. And I said, oh.
Well, I told you in my message yesterday, I'm like, I'm sure the last thing she wants to do is sit there and listen to people talk about their ailments with a mouthful of food.
And some people are learning how to chew again. I mean, it's not exactly it's not exactly easy. So apparently she decided to go to this table in the far corner by a window. What a shock. So she's sitting there. She goes, I'm just going to sit here, by myself. And the one of the nurses or whatever comes up to her and she's like, hey, she's like, would it be all right if we moved you to this table over here? This is where the Vietnam vets sit. And you probably wouldn't want to sit with them.
Why?
You're probably right. Because they're quite gruff and they're struggling with some brain injuries. So they're a bit outrageous.
I would love that, but that's just me.
Mom would until she saw them. And she's like, you know what? Maybe.
Why are they like missing eyes or something? Or
yes. And also they are quite, they're filthy. They're just filthy minded.
Well, you know what? I'd be used to it just because I've been around army for
But would you want a
years.
bunch of, octogenarians gawking at you and saying filthy things when you're trying to learn how to eat again? Like, no, it's inappropriate. They literally have a separate table for them and no one can sit there unless you are part of that group.
It's like the Stinky Pete table or something.
It really is. It really is. She's like, you know what? I think that would be best. And so she moved over. And I said, so she goes, Jamie, she goes, I hate it so much. I just can't even.
Well, why doesn't she just eat as fast as she can and get the hell out of there?
Well, she does. That's the thing. She goes, fortunately, Paul tries to accompany me at meals because it's just, she's not making friends. She's not going to sit there and start, commiserating with the others. She just wants to get out of there.
What is she going to do? Like, Facebook each other and like stay in touch about their progress?
Anyway, so she's doing well. She's not like enjoying the part of having to mill
long
with
walks
others.
on the beach, just not near the water because I might rust. But...
And stay away from my no metal detectors.
Right. I have to go through the manual process at TSA, but I'm hoping to get titanium. That's not magnetic, so.
I know. Okay, moving on. So when we were, in the throes of anxiety and panic and stress, life continues.
But does it though in Pablo's case?
So your dog, you have a little Chihuahua named Pablo who is obsessed with you. Like he's like in love with you. If he was a human, you would marry him in a minute.
He's sitting right next to me.
He would attend to your every need and whim. Pablo is how old?
10.
He's 10. Oh, that's not that old.
No.
Well, it's a senior. He's a senior dog.
I guess technically he is considered a senior.
Oh, yeah.
He still acts like a baby, though.
He's gray, though. He's getting a little gray.
Yeah, he does have gray on his little scalp.
So Pablo has he had his teeth removed yet?
Well, so what happened was a couple weeks ago, his breath, I think I said this before, his breath is always bad. I don't know why, but his breath went from bad to rancid, and we figured out like his breath just smelled like pus. And so we decided that he had a bad tooth. And so I took him to the vet, and the vet said, "Oh yeah, he's got like horrible periodontal disease. He's got a loose molar. His teeth are brown." And they just out of like stage 4, like dog mouth dental whatever disease or whatever, he's like a stage 3. So
wow,
stage 4 is basically where they just take all their teeth out. And so he was scheduled for a cleaning, but this literally happened like the cleaning was scheduled like the day after mom's surgery. And so I had to reschedule it because I'm just like, I can't, because they're going to have to do the full blown like sedation. He's going to be there all day. I have to pick him up.
That is correct.
I'll have to watch him. He's going to be on pain medication, all the stuff. I'm like, I can't do this, with this going on with mom.
No.
So I had to reschedule it. Well, because I was doing the night shift, I was literally gone for like 5 nights, I think. And so I was coming home during the day. I was sleeping. and then I was gone. Simultaneously, we had been feeding him soft food because he was not he wasn't eating his hard food, and that's what prompted us to take him to the vet in the first place.
Right.
And so we gave him soft food, and me being gone, he got extraordinarily constipated because he just like froze. I told Victor, I'm like, he's acting weird. And when I got home, I said he's been hiding and he's acting like he's in trouble. And, he was just off. And so I thought it was a combination of things. And Victor says, I haven't seen him go to the bathroom. And I said, well, how long's it been? He's like, I think it's been a good day or two. So by the time I'm finally home, and I said, well, maybe we should take him to the vet. But I mean, I'm partially alive by this point,
Right.
I'm home with the dog and everything like that. And I'm just like, has he gone to the bathroom? And he's like, no. I said, how long's it been? He's like, I think 3 days. I'm like, and you haven't taken him to the vet yet? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, good. I'll take him.
Because you got nothing going on.
Thanks for everything,
Yes.
Meanwhile, the counter has got 2 layers of grease and dirt. And, basically he's just kept everyone fed and dressed. I don't even know if anyone's showered. And so, but I'm the one that, doesn't take care of anything at home. But that's another subject. We read online that we can feed him pumpkin,
right?
Canned pumpkin, and that's supposed to help. Right. So we're doing that. So he's got an appointment on Sunday at 12:30 in the afternoon. So Saturday night, he's outside, and we finally see him sniffing around, and we're just pretending like, we're not paying attention to him because, if you watch them, they'll try and come up to you or something like that.
Yeah, no, they get distracted. Yes.
So he was sniffing around and he was smelling poo, and we're like, well, maybe he's going to get the urge or something. So finally we see him pop a squat. We're like, oh, he's going to go. And so we saw him go, but it was dark outside. So we run over there with the flashlight as soon as he runs away. We're trying to find the poo. Well, there's so much because Victor doesn't clean up dog shit. Eventually we see these really dark black shiny poops, and I'm like, I think those are the corks. The next day we get to the vet and he takes a big fat dump before we go inside on the grass, and they don't have the little bags outside, so I'm just like, we'll just put this leaf on top of it, and
just camouflage.
Hopefully they don't have a camera out here. So we go inside and I call Victor. I'm like, he just took a really big dump in the front of the vet. I'm like, what should I do? And he's like, leave. And, just tell him never mind and, save ourselves $75. And I'm just like, yeah, I probably should. So as soon as I hung up, I was going to stand up to go to the counter, and they're just like, Pablo? And I'm like,
you're like, oh, shit.
All right. So we went in there. She looked at everything and she felt his belly. She's like, he feels fine. And she's like, if he just went, then obviously everything's in progress. She's like, let me just do one more check. She stuck her pinky up his butt. The look on his face after, because he was like, ah!
Well, of course, we all do. We all yelp.
And I look at him, I'm like, Pablo, everyone has that response. Don't worry. And so
this is not an unusual response. Trust. Everybody wants to pucker their asshole after that.
I'm like, no one likes the sneaky finger. It's just, it's impolite. The shocker. I'm like, it's impolite. So afterwards, she's just like, okay. She's like, she's like, can we be friends now? And she tried to pet his face and he just turned his head and he wouldn't even look at her.
He's like, please, just leave me alone.
No, he was mad. He's just like, you assaulted me. And so we were walking outside and he was like, he had his head down. He was all somber and he's just like, I can't believe what just happened to me.
He's like, I feel so violated.
He's just like, she stuck her finger up my butt. And she's just like, oh, come on. She's like, that's the size of your poo. And he's just like, that's not even what this is about. So,
well, that's how I feel. I don't know about you, but I always feel violated after a gyno exam.
Guys think they can just stick their fingers anywhere. You try and
they don't know. They're like, oh, there's a hole. Let me stick something in it.
You try and slip one finger in their ass. They act like you just stuck a whole freaking baseball bat up there. They freak the fuck out. So
what's hilarious is when they go, hey, come everyone, look and see how large this crap is. They can more than accommodate a finger.
Well, that's the funny is as soon as you start to wiggle a finger down there, they sway their hip and butt so fast. They're like, wow, what are you doing? And I'm just like, nothing. What are you doing with that finger?
I don't know why. I swear it was Daryl who told me this. And don't ask me why he read it to me. I'm sure it was trying to encourage anal. But he said, did you realize that the anus can dilate to almost 7 inches? And I went, really? I'm like, well, that's interesting.
I'd be like, well, let's see what yours does tonight then.
Oh, God. Paula, I don't want to go anywhere near there. I don't want to do the ass thing. I don't like it. Like, I don't want to put my finger in it.
Well, I only want to do it just to be cruel. I mean, I watched x-rays of what people get stuck in their bowels. One guy had a tiny jar of peanut butter stuck up his colon.
So the theory of dilating to 7 inches is correct.
Well, I mean, a small jar of peanut butter, I mean, that has to only be like 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah.
Like, a travel size. But I'm just like, why would you want to stick a tiny jar of peanut butter up your butt?
When you consider how many extra large dildos you can purchase online, why would you use that?
I mean, when I look at a small jar of peanut butter, I think a peanut butter sandwich. But some people might look at a tiny jar of peanut butter and think sexual gratification.
I see tiny peanut butter and I think camping, because that's you buy the sample sizes to go camping, because you're I don't know about you, but any food that we bring home from camping is either thrown in the garbage. I don't eat it.
I haven't been camping in literally like 30 years.
That's fine. Trust me, you're not missing anything at all. Anyway, okay, so Pablo's good.
He's fine. He's back to pooping. He's eating soft food.
So that you're dealing with that on the sleepless nights, and then I get home and I'm sitting on the couch and I'm just trying to just unwind for 5 minutes, because I can't even look around my house with the dirt and the dust, and all my clothes are dirty because no one's doing my laundry, because I haven't been home.
You should see my room. It's like a sty.
So, Mom would be so happy with you. So I'm sitting there and Bodega can sense that things aren't going well.
Oh, all of our animals have been acting weird all week.
Yeah. And so he walks up with his little head down and he keeps trying to like hug me. Aww. And I'm like, hi, Bodega. And whenever I'm crying or anything, he's like right there to try to help me in any way whatsoever.
Pablo starts licking my face ferociously when I'm crying.
Right. And so he licks my cheek, and Bodega's not much of a kisser. He doesn't like to lick people, but he was licking my cheek, and I was like, oh my God, have you been eating shrimp? I'm like, what
is his breath bad?
It is awful. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, Daryl, I'm like, what have you been feeding this animal? And he's like, what? Nothing, just his treats. I'm like, no, this is worse. So I open up his mouth. Paula, the 2 teeth in between his canines are gone. Our dog has no front teeth. And he's like, what? I'm like, look. And he goes, oh, I never noticed. I'm like, what a shock. You didn't notice your dog is toothless.
Well, I mean, dogs don't really open their mouths to where you can see their teeth. So
here's the deal. Bodega has killed about 20 animals in his life since he's lived here. We've lived here for 6 years, and easily kills 2 animals, if not 3 on a good year.
You guys really should have gotten that chalkboard, I'm telling you.
I know. Well,
now
you know
it would have been useful just to know.
Right. So I'm like, here's the deal. This dog clearly has some tooth rot going on, because
God,
it smells like someone's asshole and it's bad. And so he's like, he's fine. I'm like, he has no teeth. I'm like, this dog needs to go to the doctor immediately. And so I go, this ages them. It makes them old because it can go to their heart. I'm like, that's why we took Sunny 2 years ago. He had 7 teeth removed. Now, listen, I realize it sounds like I'm a bad, but it happens. And that's
it happens to dogs all the time. Well, I mean, who brushes their dog's teeth every day? I mean,
when they asked us, well, what is his toothbrushing regimen? I'm like, really?
I started laughing when he asked me. He's like, so he says, how often do you brush his teeth? And I'm like, never.
Like, what? I go, can't I just buy greenies?
I'm like, he licks his asshole. I mean, what do you want me to do?
I'm just not. I said, okay. So I just said, this dog has got to go to the vet. I mean,
gosh, it's the week of the dog teeth. Jeez.
I was laughing in my brain. I was thinking about it going, Paula's going to laugh when she finds out that Bodega's teeth are like rancid. Jeez. And I mean, I've looked in his mouth several times. I don't see any pus or abscesses or anything like that. And so I think it's just, he needs a cleaning. And so, and he may lose a couple of teeth, which is not uncommon, but Dega's canines are like an inch long. Like, he is not having a problem. Like, the dog can eat tons.
Our vet said that actually in bigger dogs, their teeth are actually like sturdier than smaller dogs. So that doesn't surprise me that Sunny had a worse time of it. And same thing with Pablo. Like, I fully anticipate Pablo's going to come back like totally gummy.
Well, here's the other thing.
It's going to be like dentures or something.
Sunny's 12. And I mean, we got a good 2 years left, and he's probably going to pass. But Dega, he also has about 4 years to go before we have to start waiting around for the day. Yeah. So they're old. They're senior dogs. And so, but I said, no, look, I put all of our beloved pets down. I do all that crap. I've lanced wounds on cats. I'm like, you're taking this dog to the dentist. I'm not doing it.
Right.
So, or whatever.
So does your vet charge per tooth or
by weight?
Weight of the teeth?
No, weight of the dog.
Oh, for the cleaning, you mean?
Yes. Yay, dogs! Yay, creatures!
Well, I mean, of course, I'm going to give Pablo the best. I'm not going to,
Of course. We're going to neglect them their whole life, and then at the end, they get the best.
I'm probably going to cry because I'll be like,
fine.
I'm like, you'll be all right. I'll see you this afternoon.
It'll be fine. Okay, we don't really have time to do the one thing I wanted to do, but there were a couple of things I wanted to talk about before we get to our ugly and awkward moments.
What was it?
Oh, it was some weird shit that I found on Amazon, but we can wait and do that another time.
That article was funny.
Yes, but so
I found your Christmas present, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
On that article.
If you buy me a wax nose remover, I'm going to be really mad at you. A wax
nose remover? What is that? I never even saw that one. I didn't get through all of them. So,
all right, we'll talk about it on the next show. We'll save that for our next topic because now Christmas is coming and we got to go shopping. And Amazon's a great place for it to find the weird shit for those funny people. No, really quick. I'm sure you heard that Henry Thomas, who was Elliot from E.T., got a DUI.
Yes. Yeah, he was under the influence while he was on his bike. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I know, right?
Know what he was doing.
No, he was parked on the side of the road. I guess he lives in Washington State, and he was parked on the side of the road, hammered. And a cop came up behind his car, and then he got arrested because he was drunk. I laughed because. Not that because he was a celebrity or anything, but I'm just sitting there and I'm going through all of the lines from E.T. Elliot, home. I just started laughing.
Turn on your hard lights.
Anything.
God,
this is reality, Greg.
When I listen to Neil Diamond sing that song, he really does sound like New York and very Jewish. Like, he never really tried not to sound like that in his songs.
Really? I thought September Morn was
well, that's different. But then he was like, Halle, holy, hi, hiya, hiya, hiya. Yeah. Oh, what's the one? He was like sitting in my room, silently crying, waiting for my father to come home or something like that. Stephanie would know.
Oh my God. She's seen him many times in concert.
I've seen him twice.
I have never seen him, and I regret it. Completely regret it.
Well, you won't be able to now because he's got Alzheimer's.
I thought it was Parkinson's.
It's one of the ones.
Why do they all have Parkinson's? Like, what is going on? So many people getting. It's just sad. Anyway. I know we don't care about Felicity Huffman only serving 11 of her 14 days. So why
does anybody care? That's the stupidest thing ever. It's just like, big fucking deal. A celebrity went to jail for 11 days.
I'll tell you why. Because Lori Loughlin has put her heels in and she is fighting this every tooth and nail.
She's being an idiot.
She's being such an idiot. And
they have like concrete evidence on her. She is.
Felicity Huffman did what I would do, which is I fucked up. I totally fucked up. Yes, I will do whatever you say. I will pay whatever you want. Let's just move on. I need to move on with my life. And that's exactly what she did. She literally did what I would do if I had done something that's stupid. The other thing is I have decided I'm getting a flu shot this year.
I get a flu shot every year.
I know you do. And I don't. And I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago I got a flu shot. I made Malia get a flu shot, and she made a huge scene at the store where we got it done. And I told her she would never have to do it again at the store.
They take you in a back room usually.
They didn't. There were so many people in line trying to get a flu shot.
Where'd you go? Like a fucking clinic or something?
I went to I just went to the pharmacy because they do them for free.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do mine for free. We used to go to Rite Aid and they had like a little room and they just take you in there, do it real quick, and then give you a sticker or something.
Yeah, so this year I've decided I'm doing it again because the likelihood of me going to our mom's house quite a bit it's going to increase than the normal once a year. So I figured I don't want to traipse in the flu virus to a woman who's trying to literally recover from a significant surgery.
Well, it's a dead virus, but I mean...
No, what I mean is I don't want to not get the shot and carry in something.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right. And so I figured this is just kind of precautionary. So I told Daryl last night, I said, I'm going to go get the flu shot. You should probably get one too. And he's like,
"Ooh, yeah, you know what? It's getting kind of late in the year. I better go."
No, they said now is the time. Now is the time.
Well,
to do
usually
it.
I get mine at the end of September, so I try and get it early.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's now like it's actually getting late because it's almost November.
It actually came early, and so now is the time. I also have read that flu shots they expire. Like you can get it like too early, and then you can get sick like in the spring. If you get it too early. That's what I've read, but I don't know I have no idea. I'm just not a big believer that flu shots work because there's so many strains, but
True.
I figured what could it hurt? It's not going to hurt.
Well, I mean, scientists do their best to try and figure out the strain that they think is going to break out. And so that's why they do the flu shots. And for the most part, they are traditionally accurate. I mean, sometimes there's a rare one, but I mean, the biggest... What I find is I don't usually get sick, like hardly at all. But that's because I'm an avid hand washer.
Me too.
You know, I don't like my kids, you know, cover their mouths when they cough. You know, they blow their nose into a tissue.
Right.
I'm constantly trying to get them to wash their freaking hands. But, you know,
it's other people. So
they're
it's
nose
like,
pickers. And, you know, I can't do much about that other than, you know, constantly tell them to stop picking their nose. And, you know,
I'm more concerned about when you're out there and there's others who are filthy.
I
just
rarely
don't
go
want
out in public.
I don't want to pick anything up. And so it's kind of more like a herd immunity. I'm sure. And mom actually got the flu shot when she was in the hospital.
Oh, they did.
Oh, they made her. They're like, oh, you haven't had it yet? Okay, we're bringing that in. And
Yeah, you know what?
They gave it to her immediately.
They gave it to me when I was in the hospital. Who was I in the hospital with? Was it Olivia?
Yeah, when I was there. I should have said, hey, can I get one? I didn't
probably would have given it to you. But
well, they have a clinic.
I cannot convince my children to do it. They are terrified,
Why
of
do
needles.
they get a say?
Jamie, I can't force them to sit there in the chair and...
Yes,
and
you can.
Jamie,
my God.
I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old.
I know.
Have you ever tried to make them sit still and take a needle in the arm?
Yeah, every year of their life when they had to go get a physical. Absolutely.
Just said Malia made a scene last year, and she's 19 years old.
Okay, she was 16, and she still did it.
She was not 16 last year.
No, I said it was 3 years ago. I said.
Oh, 3 years ago. Okay.
Yes. No, this is one of those things where they don't get a say. This is about their health. Although you can get the spray. There is a flu spray.
Yeah. I mean, Dr. Grant said, I thought he said it was more effective. Maybe it's less effective. I don't know. I'll see if Dr. Grant has it this year. But
the thing is, you have to get on the waiting list because everybody wants the spray.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
I've only made it once. So
they were getting it. Actually, he sent it home with us. We could do it ourselves. So
flu spray?
Yeah, it's just like a Flonase kind of thing.
It is.
God, it tastes terrible though. Blech.
They just did it for us. They just went, psh, psh, all right, you're immune.
Well, you know how my kids are, or any kids are. They're just like, what is it? Don't do it.
I think that maybe I'm just such a total bitch. I'm just like, take it. Suck it up. All right, well, let's do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
Okay, so this week I'm going to do an ugly moment, and I'm going to do it. Olivia's going to do it on my behalf because this story was just too good to not share. Olivia and I were in the bathroom, and you know she always likes to talk to me, and right. I don't know what I was doing, and she's just like, "Mom, when you were young, did you have a vivid or wild imagination?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I had a pretty good imagination." I'm like, "Why?" And she's just like, "I think I have a pretty good imagination." I'm like, "Yes, you definitely have a good imagination." And she's like, "You know that game Uno?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's just like, "Well, we have that." And I'm like, "Oh, we do." And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I took a reverse card out of there and I took it to school." I'm like, "You did?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm like, why'd you do that? And she's like, I don't know. And she's like, so we were at school and our teacher was handing out our math assignment. And I took the card and I showed it to my teacher and I said, no, you do it.
Oh.
So I'm like, what?
Did it work? That's my question.
I think the teacher just ignored her, kind of just like, haha, you know. But I was just like, why would you do that, Olivia? I'm like, were you planning on doing this the whole time? Like, I'm like, when did you get the Uno card? And she's like, when I woke up. And I'm like, Olivia, don't do that again. Where's the Uno card? Go put it back. So, and this was before Mom's thing, but I'm just like,
yeah,
I have a parent teacher conference with your teacher next week.
Wait, and you missed it because we totally forgot about it. Did you reschedule?
I did reschedule it for next Monday or Tuesday. I have it written on the calendar.
I'm sure you explained to her the dire. I mean, it was a really weird situation.
I didn't say shit. I just rescheduled it.
Okay.
I'm kind of over it, but I mean, her grades are improving.
Well, that's because you're, making sure she's doing her homework, and
I don't know
how that works.
I really don't know why, but then we got something about like they're going to have a regions maps party on Halloween Day, and I'm like, that makes sense.
Gosh, it's changed so much since when we were in school. Like the school would literally shut down for holidays when we were in school.
Okay, so this was something funny. Olivia's just like, Mom, she's like, what's spooky attire? I'm like, spooky attire? And and I'm just like, I guess it's just like, ghosts and witches and, like scary masks and things like that. I'm like, why? And she says, well, at school. I'm like, oh, are you not allowed to wear spooky stuff? She's like, no, actually it says no costumes, spooky day. And I'm like, what?
Oh, so maybe you can like face paint spider webs on your face, or
they want you to wear spooky stuff, but not your costume.
So maybe like colors like blue and black and purple and orange and stuff.
No, they want you to dress up like ghosts and shit. And I'm just like, what the?
That's a costume.
Yeah, but not your Halloween costume. So Olivia's going to be a cowgirl this year.
Well, there you go.
But they want you to dress up like a ghost or a goblin or a zombie or something like that.
I don't like any of those options.
I'm just like, what? I'm like, what? In what world does that make sense?
That's weird.
I'm like,
Can she wear a wig? I have so many wigs.
I just want her to go to school in clothes. I'm just like, this whole thing is fucked up.
Anyway, okay, so my awkward moment, we have been to many medical facilities in the last 2 weeks, at several, the hospital, ICU, etc. And I never once, except for when Mom was in the ICU wing, I never once was able to go from the parking lot to her room without getting lost. Oh, God. Never, ever. And so I got up and I'm like, why is this place such a maze? It shouldn't be. It's not even that big of a place. The hospital is a small hospital. So like I got up, I walked around in 2 complete circles, and the nurses station, they stopped and they're like, can we help you? Because I ended up in the administrative wing. I ended up in, luckily labor and delivery is in a completely different area, so you can't accidentally go in there. But everywhere else, I mean, I ran into every type of illness person you could possibly imagine. And finally said, I'm just looking for room 289. And they're like, oh, it's right here. And I was like, oh my God. It's like the freaking Twilight Zone. It's like someone's been playing tricks on me. All I know is that I still struggle to find her mother's room, even though she's in a rehab unit that's only 1 floor. I still have to go around in a big circle. It's ridiculous. I don't know why. And I'm like, people are under duress. Can we please make this easy? And why are the halls not lit? Like, can we light them up a bit so we can see? I understand that there are stroke victims here, but can we at least have some kind of thing so that we can see where we're going, so I don't feel like I'm going into a dead area? Because it's really difficult. Struggling, and it makes me feel way more awkward than I already am. Anyway, all right, well, that's it for me.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap. So thank you everybody for joining us. I know for me right now, I have 2 costumes in my cart at Amazon that I need to order. I forgot to do it last night.
You gonna look like a hefty bag this year? What are you gonna do?
I am going to be a conservative nurse, so not totally slutty, but
What's the point?
Because I have a fat body and it won't look good if I get a super slutty nurse costume.
I think our sister has a slutty nurse costume.
I've seen that one and I have no desire to wear it.
Okay.
It's not flattering. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it would have been.
I couldn't believe that she wore it.
Well, I mean, it looked good on her at the time.
It did,
of
course,
but
of
I mean,
course.
if I tried to put it on, I would just look like a, like a chicken sausage with the.
Yeah, sausage casings are no fun. I've got to think of something as well. I haven't even.
And I ordered a large because I don't even want to have to deal with sucking in anything.
Yeah.
I'll just let it flow underneath the fabric. So.
Right.
So I'm going to do that. Olivia's going to be a cowgirl. Ryan keeps saying he's not going to dress up. So he's going to stay
14.
home. He's going to stay home with me and pass out candy.
Good.
So yes, go to Amazon. There's still time to buy your costume. And then, like I said before, if you're not a Prime member, go to go to uglytruth.com, click on the Amazon button on the right-hand side. Up at the top, you'll see the Prime link. Click on that, sign up. Many ways to be a member. So pick the option that's best for you. And don't forget to go to lipandclip.com and get your makeup.
All the holiday stuff is coming out now. They have some cute stuff.
Yeah, it's already time to start thinking about Christmas presents and little things you can get for nieces, nephews.
Here's what's really surprising. What's really surprising about lipandclip.com is I'll go, maybe in mid-November, and I'll be like, oh, some of this stuff is really cute because they have a lot of little tchotchkes and stuff. And I actually like their costume jewelry. A lot of it's cupid zirconium, and it's really cute. And I
get a ton of their jewelry.
I really like it. And I never thought I would, but I do. And it's really well made. And I have jewelry from lipandclip.com that still looks pristine, and it's just, you just have to be selective and you'll find something that you like. The problem is that everything freaking sells out.
It does.
Everything sells out. And I'm just like, what? Not that I don't like the products, and obviously we endorse it, and everybody orders. You guys, we get orders all the time from our listeners, and we really appreciate it. But when I go in to say, oh, I really like this little Christmas decor thing, and it would be really cute to add to, whatever decorating shelf or whatever, and I'm like, it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, they sell out so fast. It drives me insane. I hate it. So you got to get it like immediately.
Well, and if you think that if you're like waiting for a better sale, they really don't change that much.
They don't. They do free shipping all the time.
Yeah. And they usually, they have good sales. And if they have a different sale, it really doesn't alter that much from the one that they probably just had. It just is a little different. So don't think that you're going to have a better sale as it gets closer to the holidays, because it's probably just going to be different. Like, maybe buy one, get one free, or buy 3 for blah, blah, blah dollars or something like that.
If it's in stock. And they don't restock. Once it's done, because everything is a collector's item.
Well, and they usually only do it that year. So,
right.
So, other than that, we will see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.